Happy Friday, everyone. Get comfortable and join us for a new edition of ESPN FC. I'm Alexis Younes alongside Stevie Nicol and Uzbekistan's #1 fan, Shaka Hislop. If you have no idea what we're talking about, make sure to tune into the latest edition of Shaka's Power Rankings. It will all make sense there. And you'll also learn a lesson in geography as well. But we're not talking about Shaka's Power Rankings first, because we're talking about the big one in the Premier League this weekend. It is Chelsea going up against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. If you have a look at the tail of the tape there, you could see that Liverpool now, we know that they're at the top of the table, but they have proven that they are not unbeatable. As for Chelsea, they are the world champions, but they also have a couple of cracks in their armor as well. So this could be a very interesting matchup. Let's have a look at what the odds are saying, though. And the odds are saying that Liverpool just slight favourites in this one, but still some concerns for the Reds after suffering two major injuries midweek in the Champions League to Alisson and Hugo Ekitike. Now, Ekitike may not be 100%, so that could mean another chance for Alexander Isak to start. So here's Arne Slot talking about him.
I said to him when he started, the difficult thing will be you will have your appearances, like you just said, but if you add the minutes together, you probably only had 2 or 3 90-minute games. But yeah, that is what we inherited from the situation of him not being with the team in Newcastle. And we knew this before, so it's not an excuse. He already scored a goal. He gets fitter and fitter, but the main thing, he needs to adjust to his teammates, and the teammates need to adjust to him. And the more you play together, the better things will work.
Let's welcome in the other member of our team today, Jan Aga Fjørtoft. Jan, always good to have you. But Stevie, you know I'm going to start with you for this one. As I mentioned, 2 injuries for Liverpool, a long-term one for Alisson. Hugo Ekitike, we're waiting to see exactly what his fitness is, but it's likely that he could start on the bench. How concerned are you for Liverpool in this game?
I'm not concerned at all. You know,
wow, okay.
There's a reason why Liverpool bought Mamardashvili for this particular situation, and he's one of the best goalkeepers in Europe, in my opinion. So I don't have a problem with that. And the fact that Ekitike might not be 100% fit, or even not fit at all, guess what? You're bringing Alexander Isak in, and that's a problem. I don't see it as a problem. The only problem I see for Liverpool is if they can get together on the field in terms of the passing, their movement and connecting passes and not giving the ball away. That's the only thing that I want Liverpool to do at the weekend. Because talent-wise, I think the street's ahead of Chelsea. And so they have to just be in tune with each other. And if Liverpool do that, they got goal scorers all around the field, in my opinion, that Chelsea just don't have. I think you look past João Pedro, I ask, where's the goals coming from? There's no Cole Palmer. Every which way you look at this, I see Liverpool as favourites. But that is, of course, if they get in tune with each other and don't cough the ball up. That's it. Those 2 things. If Liverpool get it right, then it's a Liverpool victory.
Wow, this is the first time, I think, all season that I've seen Stevie this confident about Liverpool going into a game. And I never thought, Jan, that it would come after Liverpool have lost back-to-back games. Now, should Stevie have a bit more concern over his Reds?
Hello from London. I'm at the game tomorrow at Stamford Bridge, so I look forward to that. I understand what Stevie is saying. If you take 1-1, if Ekitike out, you get another striker in. He's not bad either, Alexander Isak. Alisson Becker, for me, maybe the best goalkeeper in the world. He's out, but Mamardashvili is just in to do that. I mean, they saw over the last 2 seasons as Alisson Becker, I think, missed 20 games over the 2 last seasons, so you needed a good number 2. So that I understand. So there is a lot of things to sort out for Liverpool at the moment. I see now a team mixed up with the great individual talents. They don't find each other so good on the pitch. So 2 losses in a row. They need a result. They need a good game tomorrow at Stamford Bridge.
Shaka, you also said that you're not too concerned about Alisson's injury.
I'm not concerned from...
Or it's not a deal breaker for Liverpool in this.
From the perspective that Mamardashvili, as I think we all agree, is an outstanding goalkeeper. It's just a difficult time to come in to a team like Liverpool. Given the start they had to the season, now all of a sudden they've lost their last 2, and I know Mamardashvili came off the bench in the last game, but now you're making your first start on the back of two successive losses. That's not ideal from a new player perspective coming in, when maybe the defense are looking at each other, asking question marks. You want some consistency there. That being said, you sign a goalkeeper of his quality for exactly this reason, that he can come in and be a seamless replacement to Alisson. I will say, while I agree with everything that Stevie said about this game, I don't share his confidence in that, on paper, arguably so far this season, Liverpool have been better than everybody they played. Their performances have said otherwise. And you saw that coming to head again over the last couple of games. And now this is a big moment for Arne Slot. And maybe the injury to Ekitike kind of forces him to play, well, quite clearly, Isak. And all of a sudden you find that settled starting 11 that maybe he'd been questioning all season long, because while they've been winning, again, they've not been playing great. So that can serve as maybe a little bit of an opportunity for Arne Slot. I agree with Stevie. While we're talking about a Liverpool team that's lost their last two, Chelsea have lost their last two in the league, have injury problems of their own, and truth be told, simply on paper, don't have the firepower that Liverpool has.
Well, as we said, Liverpool have lost the last two, one in the league to Crystal Palace, and then, of course, in the Champions League, where we most saw recently, to Galatasaray. Stevie, you did say that, the goals can come from anywhere for Liverpool. We know the firepower that they have, but they did fail to score against Galatasaray. Looking at this 11, what needs to change for this weekend?
Well, I think they need to get Szoboszlai out of there and back in the middle of the park. For me, it should be Bradley at right back. And right now, the way Kerkez is performing, I'd probably put Andy Robertson back in there.
Oh, I love that.
And looking at that, that looks like a team that's more in tune with each other. The guts of that team, if those changes were made, looks a lot similar to what it was last year. And now what you're looking for is the front players to catch fire. So if I'm Slot, I'm making those changes. I go back to the tried and trusted, away from home at Chelsea, get yourself a solid base and then go from there. And then hopefully you get the ball to the front players and they catch fire. So that to me would be the way I would go about it. However, I'm not Liverpool manager.
Wow.
No, but you are.
Sadly not.
You are.
Sadly not.
Sadly not. Sadly not. But what about? What would you do? It's a question we've asked you a number of times, but specifically for this match now and what we've seen recently. What do you do with Florian Wirtz? Do you move him to the left? Do you bench him?
If he plays, I think you move him to the left. Personally, right now, I would sit him.
Would you play?
I would leave Gakpo on the left, Salah on the right, and Isak right through the pipe. As I said, tried and trusted. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Allegedly, you're assuming you know what you're going to get, because this team that I'm talking about knows each other inside out. We're not going to be thinking, well, every second you take to think about what you have to do with the player that's standing next to you, that gives the opposition a chance to get at you and particularly get the ball from you. So that lineup that I was talking about, I think that would be way more settled and would be way better away from home at Chelsea.
Jan, what do you make of Stevie leaving Florian Wirtz on the bench, saying he has no place for him in his 11 if he were Arne Slot?
Well, it's very interesting because Arne Slot needs to find a way to give him the necessary confidence to be in there, because now it's a matter of confidence. Because I think you can say a lot about Florian Wirtz, but I think what is unusual to see him now in a Liverpool shirt is that he's losing the ball so much. I mean, when we saw him playing for Bayer Leverkusen, we're seeing from Germany, he never loses the ball. And that's what he's doing at the moment. I think that is down to he doesn't adjust with the people in and around him. But I don't think that is only, like I said in my first statement, that is not just a Wirtz problem. That is something about the balance there. And if I may say, Stevie, if you I understand what you're saying. I think Robertson should play for Kerkez. I think Kerkez is a bit too hot-headed when they are struggling at the moment. So I will put Andy Robertson in there as well. But on the other back, Stevie, is that when Liverpool used to play out from the back, often they went out to Trent Alexander-Arnold, being that role of a quarterback on the right side. I see Liverpool now when they're struggling, when they try to play out from the back. It's not the same, even when Van Dijk is doing it or Konate doesn't produce that. So I got a feeling that is the thing that is missing, the way that they go out from the back. I mean, when they're coming with power forward, it's fantastic. But sometimes when Liverpool is playing at the moment, it's like a boxing fight, two heavyweights just get out in the ring and just have a beat at each other. And at the end, last one standing is the winner. And that's what I feel. Maybe that's not, Liverpool need to find a balance there.
Yeah, the thing about Van Dijk for me is he has absolutely been affected. Because for me, Van Dijk now is trying to take care of everybody. You know, you've got two of your back four in Kerkez and Konate who, A, are struggling just to do their job defensively, but B, are struggling with the ball at their feet. And so you've got Van Dijk who's been affected by it because you know he's a little unsure whether he should give it to Kerkez. And opposition are leaving Konate with the ball, so that is a real problem. And the one with the Verts, the reason I would drop Verts is because they've lost the last two games. You know, I said at the start of the season, when there were five games undefeated, you can continue to try and get Verts into form by playing them whilst you're winning. But when you start losing, then you have to start looking after the team. You can't be thinking about looking after individuals now. They have to win games. And so if that means, unfortunately, Verts has to sit for whatever it takes till Liverpool settle down, get in some rhythm, get back to the Liverpool we know, then you can start trying to reintroduce him. And then it's better for him as well. So
Can I ask you a question, Stevie?
Sure.
If it's that okay. When they put Szoboszlai on the right side, is that a signal that you want to have a player there, as Trent Alexander-Arnold did? A good football player with a good foot, with a good pass? Do you think that is the reason they have put him there so many games?
No, I don't. I actually think, and I think it's not something I would ever do. I think he's shoehorning Szoboszlai at right back to try and keep Verts on the field. I think that's what he's doing. Or that's what he's done.
So that's Wirtz's fault as well.
Well, actually, I hear you, but it's actually not. It's Arne Slot's fault. Again, as the manager, as the coach, whatever you want to call it, your duty is to the whole team. You have to pick a side based on what is the best for everybody. And so when you start to do that and you start to shoehorn people in because you can and you think you can get away with it, I'm sorry, that's not how you do it.
I like Jan's version better.
All right, well, let's talk about Chelsea now, too, because Enzo Maresca has a couple of concerns for his own Blues, and mainly their unavailable players. They also are going through a bit of an injury spell, and the big one being Cole Palmer. We know exactly how he has been that X factor for Chelsea. Shaka, what do you make of this and how Chelsea can cope with it?
Well, not particularly well if the last two league games are anything to go by. Added to that, you have João Pedro, who came off the bench just about on the hour mark. Do
you actually think this is a hangover, this long list, just looking at it now? Is it a bit of a hangover from what we thought would happen after the Club World Cup?
I wondered, post-Club World Cup, if the clubs who participated would have to deal with injury crises such as these. I'll be honest, I thought it would come later in the season. I thought it would come closer to Christmas or just after, especially given the intensity and the frequency of the games over that Christmas break. I thought that's when it would start catching up. Maybe it's looking like this is Chelsea's moment in that regard, because that's a long list to have to deal with. And again, and added to that, João Pedro, more concerningly for this game, we'll see. We came off the bench on the hour mark in the Champions League. Didn't quite make it to the end, but got 36 minutes into it, getting sent off in injury time. If he were to miss, and to Stevie's point earlier on, when you look around at this Chelsea starting 11, you can't help but wonder where those goals have come from. Now, you take João Pedro out of that, if he doesn't start, and it's even more of an issue for Chelsea. And again, given that list, where do you get any kind of support? Where do you get any kind of firepower? I'm not at all sure.
Yeah, and Enzo Maresca is sounding a little bit like Ruben Amorim these days when he said that he feels that Chelsea are actually improving. Have you seen any of that?
Well, imagine if they had a big squad. I mean, how good could they be? How good could they be? Yeah, I understand that a manager sometimes got to say this, but you can't say without proving it. And when I have a look at Chelsea at the moment, I feel. I mean, I see what I try to do. I'm not saying that I actually doing that all the time. There's a lot of things depending on a Cole Palmer that he will make some magic for them, which is a bit surprising when you see all the players they've got in. And I also find it very amazing when I see the money spent on this Chelsea team, and they ending up that we're sitting here talking, where should they score goals? Where should the goals come from? And also that they have a dodgy goalkeeper that I am not 100% convinced is a good goalkeeper at that level. But maybe we should have a goalkeeping expert in the studio.
Where can we find one?
Can you see one, Stevie?
Oh. Maybe we'll
I hate you all.
All right, let's get some predictions. Let's get some predictions. Here's what everyone is saying. I've gone with a 2-1 win for Liverpool. Stevie is gone for a 2-1 win as well. Stevie, you're copying me. Whereas Jan and Shaka are sitting on the fence. They could not pick them apart, so they're going for the draw. So the system, I guess, is working fine. Maybe it's the players' fault. Stevie, what do you make of
fine for everybody else.
Working fine for everybody else. But Stevie, your thoughts on, once again, what Ruben Amorim has had to say?
Yeah, I think until he starts winning games, he's going to get the system thrown at him every single time he sits down at a desk and does an interview. I mean, and it's hard not to do that because, again, this nonsense about they're getting better. Him and his pal Maresca at Chelsea coming out with the same stuff. There's nothing on the field of play that you can agree with them that has gotten better. Nothing has gotten better. And that's why we keep throwing this system at them. Because, yes, I believe that regardless of the system, the squad of players they have aren't good enough to be competing at the top end of the Premier League. So that's got nothing to do with the system. Yeah. That's just got to do with the players they have in the squad. But whilst they're losing games, whilst he's not changing anything at all in terms of tactics and system, then it's going to be thrown at him every time he sits in front of a microphone, and rightly so. Because every coach I know, when you keep banging the drum a certain way and it's not working, you change it because it's not working. So, yeah, he better get used to it because he's clearly not going to change anything. And it seems unlikely that much is going to change with Manchester United with the performances and the results. So he better get ready for more system talk. More system talk.
But Shaka, give me a prediction for this one. How do you see this going?
I'll be honest, and I've said this, over the last couple of seasons, every time a Manchester United manager has needed a result, they've somehow got one. And yes, Sunderland...
Shaka, you've gone for the United win.
I've gone for the United win for exactly that reason. Sunderland, as good as they've been playing this season, they still are a newly promoted team. They're coming to Old Trafford. I just feel that Manchester United get a result, and the only reason I can come up with is because we've seen this play out time and time again for both Amorim and Ten Hag. Whenever they desperately need a result, they somehow get it. And that just kind of kicks the can down the road. We start having the conversation about their futures in another couple of weeks. But this cycle just somehow keeps repeating itself. So that's why I've gone United again.
Well, I appreciate that Shaka went for a bold prediction there. But Jan, you're on the fence again. You've gone
bold.
for another draw in this one. If he gets the draw, will it be enough to keep his job, though?
Well, I said on the other show, I think for a couple of weeks ago, I'm not sure who I stole the quote from because we read a lot of quotes, but Manchester United just got enough good players to save managers who are too bad for them. So they do that all the time. I don't think it'd go down to this. I mean, in my position, when you are pitch side, you work with the managers, you like someone, you dislike someone because they are rude or not polite or whatever they are in their position. Amorim is the nicest man alive. But he will be fired soon. That is nothing to do with any result or whatever. Because yes, Stevie, I'm with Stevie. They don't have enough players to be in the top, but they got enough players to be much higher than they are now and last season. I mean, there are teams up in the top half of the table who don't have the squad that is having. And look at all the players who's leaving now. I mean, this week, you probably talked about that on the show. Rasmus Højlund is brilliant in the Champions League. No, I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it.
No, rightfully so. Everyone's thriving.
But I'm just saying it because he won't be fired if he doesn't win or win against Sunderland. It's just a delay. It's just a delay because he will end up being fired. Why? Because the team is not getting better. I mean, we knew that. They beat Chelsea. We all knew that they will lose against Brentford or have a bad game because it's been like this for 2-3 years, 2-3 seasons, and they had to pay for it, the manager who did that. Is Amorim the only problem at Manchester United? Of course not. This is a club that is in every department struggling at the moment. I just think the only thing that saves him now is that Wilcox and Barrera, the CEO and the head of recruitment of sport, they are too invested in him and they want to see him succeed. Having seen it in Germany where Leverkusen fired Ten Hag after 2 games, and I spoke to their CEO before the game against Frankfurt, and they said they should have fired him before the season.
All right, let's get into some drama, shall we? Because Spain coach Luis de la Fuente has clapped back at Hansi Flick's complaints about how Lamine Yamal's injury was handled. He said, "Here we take 0 risks. I always tell the truth. What happened was, when the Turkey game ended, he had a bit of an issue, but I don't pick players who are carrying an injury." Well, best believe that novella did not end there. If you remember, Hansi Flick did criticize De La Fuente, saying that Lamine Yamal actually had to play by taking painkillers in that game and played a little bit too long. Well, we know that he ended up missing a couple of games for Barcelona there. He since came back, but then Spain called up Lamine Yamal once again for their upcoming games, World Cup qualifiers, that is, against Bulgaria and Georgia. But then a few hours later, Barcelona had a thing to say about that because they announced that Lamine Yamal is actually injured now for the next 2 to 3 weeks after aggravating that groin injury. Stevie.
So who do we believe?
That's my question. What do you make of all this back and forth, club versus country?
Well, either Hansi Flick isn't telling us the truth, or the coach isn't. It's one or the other. One says they don't play injured players, but yet the injured player's coach said he was injured and had to take painkillers. So somebody's not telling the truth.
The only assumption I can make here is that De La Fuente goes to Lamine Yamal and asks him if he's fit. And as players do, Stevie would attest, you say yes. Even when you feel a little bit of it, if you feel you'll be all right, you know, you go to the physio, get a couple of painkillers, and you know, I'll go. That's what players do.
Right there, is that not when the coach steps in and goes, hold on a second?
Should be.
Have some discomfort.
Again, should be.
Right.
Should be. But we don't know. We don't know what happened behind closed doors.
We don't know who's lying.
We don't know who said. We don't know who said what to who. And that's is all I can infer from this, because I don't think anybody just comes up with any lies like that.
Here's a question, right? Why are Spain calling this kid in anyway? Why would they? You have to look at it from a sensible, rational point of view. Surely. You know, it's not like the morning of the announcement of the squad, they didn't know that he was carrying something. So why had they even got him in the squad?
But imagine, Steve, if there was a fight between the Spanish FA and Barcelona. Imagine if that was the truth. And I mean, they're fighting and battling about everything. And now it's the same with Yamal. I think we saw some numbers before the show. He's 18. He has played 130 senior games for Barcelona and Spain. And Iniesta got 40. Gavin, was it 60 or something? It's like the unbelievable numbers that he has had. So this is quite interesting to discuss where he is, because he's so influential both for Barcelona and for Spain. And remember, this is a kid who is still growing. I mean, he's still growing, and he's been in the team for like when he was 15. This is a wonder kid, and I do fear that this battle between the Spanish FA and Barcelona, which is the oldest conflict of all footballers, we've all been there from when we were national players, but this is a conflict that is going on and on. There go more and more games coming up now. Well, this is a red flag. I mean, we should be aware now what we're doing with these kids.
The problem is that the national teams, the national associations have got too much power now. You know, in our day, if you didn't feel right, if you had an injury, you just made the call and said, look, I'm not right, I'm not coming. And they'd be like, okay. And that was it. Now, you've got to go through hoops. Well, apparently the player has to go, and then their doctors look at him, and they decide whether he's fit or not. I mean, what a lot of nonsense. There's no way the associations should have that amount of power.
People like you abused it, Stephen.
Exactly,
You
Stephen.
abused the...
Things had to change. Jan brought up an interesting... Shaka, Jan brought up an interesting point in terms of the amount of games and minutes that Lamine Yamal has played, so much so, and if that's a red flag. Well, FIFPro looked into it and they called it alarming demands that have been put on a footballer of his age there. So do they have a point there?
Absolutely, they have a point. FIFA have been saying this for quite some time, to the point that earlier, just as he started his summer, there was an agreement between FIFA and some other body about limiting the number of games that players play, or more to the point, how much time in between games, etc. FIFA was not involved in those conversations. Now, FIFA is the largest player representative body in world football, yet they weren't at the table to discuss player welfare. Now, that kind of goes back to a rather contentious relationship between FIFPro and FIFA. But they have always been advocating for players in this way. And at some point, somebody has to step in and advocate in this manner for those players, because the truth is, whether it's the FA or the clubs, you almost want to sympathize in that coaches are hired, or more to the point, fired based on results for both national team and clubs. So you want your best players. What happens when your best player is 18 years old? Everybody wants that player to be involved, because this is their livelihoods that they're banking on this 18-year-old to deliver. So some third party, neutral-ish party has to come in, and common sense has to kind of be the order of the day. And I just don't think that without that interaction, we're going to keep having these conversations.
But the problem is, if I might say, I mean, the neutral part should be the football associations. There should be UEFA. There should be the FIFA. But they are global players as well. It's FIFA who have the FIFA World Cup, so for clubs that we're just talking about, Chelsea, the world champion. It's also them who is having the World Cup in 2026. UEFA, they have their tournaments. They have the Champions League. Champions League get more teams in now. The FA got their cup games. The leagues have their league cups. And who should be the neutral part? I mean, United Nations can't do it because they are doing other things. They can't do it. The government can't do it. So the only ones who could actually do it and stop it and say enough is enough is the players' organizations. And they're not even on the table. They're not even on the table, as Shaka is rightly saying. They're not even on the table being listening to. And I mean, who should then do it if the players' organizations are not even on the table?
All right,
the players need to. The players themselves have to get together. And people like Ronaldo, who's coming to the end of his career, would be the perfect, in my opinion, the perfect catalyst to head everything. You know, people are going to listen to him. Players will actually listen to him. People like him. Messi would be the same thing, because it's not going to change. The fact that the players have the FIFPro, apparently, which is supposed to represent them, clearly they're either not doing the job or they just don't have the power. And so the only way to get the power is through the players. And so the players have to get together, and then they will make a change. Because up until that point, nobody is bothered. They're just cattle, they're getting thrown around, and then when they're done, they bring another one in. That's all that's happening. It's down to the players now to get together and give FIFPro some power. That's the only way it happens.
Well, I'll tell you who'll continuously be bothered during these 2 to 3 weeks. Hansi Flick and Barcelona. Here's a look at their upcoming schedule. They're away to Sevilla this weekend. Then they have Girona. Then it's Olympiacos in the Champions League. But there's the big one, El Clásico, October 26th on ESPN, by the way. Real Madrid away is where they're going. Shaka, how much are they going to miss Lamine Yamal, at least in these fixtures, hoping that he's back for El Clásico?
Well, again, Lamine Yamal, and for all our discussions around his age and the battering that his body's taking, he is still the best player at Barcelona, and arguably the best player in Spanish football. I know Kylian Mbappe will have a whole lot to say about that. So it's impossible, it's near on impossible to replace somebody as good as Lamine Yamal. You are figuring, yes, somebody has to come in, and you are talking tactical adjustments, but when he's on the park, he absolutely is a difference maker. And how do you cope without Lamine Yamal? Hansi Flick will have to figure that out. On the other side of that very coin is maybe our discussions about Real Madrid have changed a little bit since last weekend, where they lost heavily to Atletico Madrid. Now all of a sudden they are showing that they're vulnerable, that they can be beat, that they, and let's be honest, during the course of that game, I just thought they went absolutely flat once Atletico Madrid kind of took hold of that game by the scruff of the neck. Real Madrid did not have any kind of a response on the pitch, emotionally, nothing. It was pretty surprising to see, in all honesty. So I think so much of these seasons come down to the two Clásicos. This one comes at a time where, again, both these teams are showing great things, but are also showing that they've got their faults.
And Thomas Tuchel has named his squad, leaving out the likes of Jack Grealish as well as Jude Bellingham. This is what he had to say about Jude Bellingham. He said he hasn't finished one full match until now. He has only started one match, so he is at the moment in the period where he gets his rhythm, where he gets back to full strength. There is that extra layer into the decision, but the decision stays. He wanted to be called up. We had a phone call. There was no issue from that. He just lacks rhythm. Stevie, what do you make of this?
I think Thomas Tuchel's doing the right thing. I think it's a little early to look into a problem between Tuchel and Bellingham, because quite frankly, I think what Tuchel's doing is best for both parties. You know, I don't think Bellingham's ready to play in the international stage. He's better off being back in Madrid and getting himself back to 100% fitness. So I don't see a problem with this whatsoever. So yeah, the problem may arise the next time Bellingham's in the squad. If Tuchel, as he's talking about, he likes the continuity of what he had the last international break, we'll see whether that's just talk or whether he actually means it the next time Bellingham's in the squad. Because the next squad, Bellingham will be 100% fit. That'll be the tester. It's dead easy for Thomas Tuchel to say anything right now. Once Bellingham's back in the fold, that's when we'll find out.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Jan, because we know that Thomas Tuchel and Bellingham do have a little bit of a history at least. Or do you agree with what Stevie has to say?
Well, I think nothing is done and said for the wrong reasons here. First of all, Tuchel is coming from a 5-0 in Serbia, which was a great result for them. So this is the time to do something. And as Stevie is saying, then he can go backwards, finding the argument, because Bellingham hasn't been fit. He hasn't played a full game yet. So that's fair. I also think it's the right time in front of a World Cup to show your squad filled up with great football stars. And maybe the biggest of them all, next to Kane, is Jude Bellingham. So the leader, Thomas Tuchel, he has the chance now to show everybody that the biggest thing for me is the team, not the individual player. Mm-hmm. When we see the first game in the World Cup, Jude Bellingham will play for England. But maybe we then see back that what he's doing now is the right thing to do. Not maybe because of Jude, and I agree with Stevie as well. It's better for him now to train, maybe take a bit of that pressure off. I understand that. But it's good for the rest of the team to see we're winning 5-0 in Serbia. I stick with the same boys. I go with more or less the same squad. And we take it from there. This is a trust to you guys. Jude Bellingham will be back. Jude Bellingham will be very vital for England. But to find that balance with one of your star players is very important. And what is a better time to do that 7-8 months before the World Cup, instead of this being a case 1 month or a pre-match before the World Cup. So I think Thomas Tuchel, although I'm a big fan of Jude Bellingham, I support Thomas Tuchel because I understand what he's doing. He's sending some signals, not only to Jude Bellingham, he's also sending some signals to the other players who is in that England squad.
Yeah, just to Jan's point, Shaka, the fact that he said, Thomas Tuchel himself kind of came out and spoke about that they need to also learn to not be so over-reliant on star players like a Jude Bellingham as well. Do you think with what he's doing and how he's managing these stars, is he flexing his muscles a little bit in this?
I'm not sure it's a case of flexing his muscles. It's just a common sense thing to do. And I also understand that you don't want to be overly reliant on some of your star players. I'm old enough to remember when a newspaper in England had everybody praying over Rooney's metatarsals, some nonsense like that. So you totally understand why he has given himself that safety net, and understandably so. And while it's not ideal, and the decision around Jude Bellingham's shoulder surgery was taken by Real Madrid, he's only just come back, just started to be involved with Real Madrid. Too early for Tuchel to involve him in this international window, which I think suits England as much as it suits Real Madrid. There's still another window come November. After that, maybe there's Confederation playoffs in December, which Europe aren't involved in. And then there's the March international window before we get into the World Cup. So with each passing opportunity, of course, there are less and less. There are opportunities for Tuchel to get Bellingham back involved between now and the summer. So this is not an issue. I think this is just the sensible thing to do in every single regard for everybody involved.
All right, Jan. Well, we cannot have you and not talk about your fellow Norwegians. And we have to bring back this quote from Erling Haaland, who was very frustrated after the 2-2 draw against Monaco in the Champions League. He said, look, of course I don't feel good we didn't win. We do something unnecessarily in the second half, and we don't think we played good enough. We don't deserve to win. I'm pissed off. I think everyone should be. It's not good enough. Right now, I don't think too much of that in terms of individual records. Now, I'm just, as I said, pissed off. Well, Jan, as he put it, he's pissed off, and I guess he has a right to be.
He has a right to be. I follow this kid since he was 17 or 18, and he's growing up. This is a guy, first of all, nothing he said in that quote was wrong. Everything was right, and he was pissed off after that game. They got an equalizer at the end there with a penalty against Monaco. But this is Erling Haaland is turning into a leader in the Manchester City dressing room. He's also a part of the team of captains there. He's a vice captain for Norway, and I can feel, I can see, and when I listen to him, when I talk to him, that this is a guy now who wants to take more responsibility. And there are games like in Monaco, he had less touches, but still scored enough goals. But he's still, if you've seen this season, I think he's added something to his game. He takes more responsibility on the pitch and off the pitch. So I see a mature Erling Haaland tells it like it is. I mean, he's 100% right. And I think Pep Guardiola will 100% agree with him. And if you see the top goal scorers, they're having a bad season.
Yeah, exactly. And you do feel his frustration because he's doing his job, but it feels like everyone else necessarily isn't. And if it's one thing that I remember talking to him as well before the FA Cup final earlier this year, and he was like, look, I don't care if it's a semi-final, if it's a final, I don't care if Manchester City have been in here 7 times in a row, I want to win trophies. So if this carries on, and we know that there are some changes at Manchester City now, they're not the City that we saw 2-3 seasons ago. We know that Pep Guardiola is expected to leave probably sooner than later. Do we sense some unhappiness at Manchester City from Erling Haaland? Because as Shaka pointed out, he's got a 54-year contract.
Yeah, he's only got 54 years left of his contract. But I know he's desperate to win titles, and he will win more titles with Manchester City in the next 55 years. I'm 100% sure of that. But listen, this is a football player who is very attached to his football club. This is a little kid who walked around in the living room at his home with a Manchester City shirt on while his dad played for Manchester City. So this is not a player who will leave the club at the first storm. I mean, his first season, he won the treble. I mean, so this is not in a short-term thing. He is there on a long term. Will he stay there for 9 years? I'm not 100% sure of that. I know nobody can be, but he is there for a reason. And I think that actually these quotes from Erling Haaland is good news for Manchester City, because you see a player who is very concerned about the team. He's very concerned of a team that doesn't seem to keep on. You know, the old Manchester City, you know, that great, successful title-winning team. When did the last time did they give away a lead? I mean, they just played it in. They just controlled it. And if you saw the second half of the game against Monaco, that skill was not to be seen.
Yeah, guys, you know, as Ale Moreno says, we like to sensationalize things. It's not 54 years. Xhaka got it wrong, as usual. It's only 9 years. Only 9.
I'd love to see that.
All right, well, speaking of lovely sights, FIFA have revealed the official match ball for next year's World Cup in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. It's called the Trionda, and it was revealed at a lovely event in Brooklyn, New York. What'd you guys think of it? You like it? You want it as a collector's edition?
I thought it's very nice design to it.
I like the design. Adidas always hit, man.
There'll be something wrong with it.
What do you mean something wrong with it?
It'll fly all over the shop. Guaranteed.
You're just a breath of fresh air today, Stevie.
Right.
You bald. Right. Just get the old one and paint it a different colour. How about that?
The black and white one.
There you
I
go.
agree. That's it for now. Stay tuned for Extra Time. It's next. Welcome into Extra Time. It's the gang right here. Jan Agafjortov is also joining us. Can I just have a moment to say how we've coordinated in Navy today?
Yes, we have.
Right.
This was not planned.
The fluke.
It's amazing.
It was a fluke.
We're a dapper crew.
Yeah.
Dapper.
You're in the Navy now. Ooh,
No.
you're in the Navy.
Hey, Jan's got a great voice. We should go
No, he
karaoke
doesn't.
soon.
No, he doesn't.
Real.
He held the
Maybe he
tune.
should use it sometime.
He
Held the tune.
he held the tune.
He dropped it as soon as it opened.
You know who can carry a note though? Stevie Nicol. Stevie.
I don't believe
won't
that
argue
for a
with
minute either. I do not believe
Has
that.
Stevie never sung to you in the office?
No.
Stevie.
Is there
got a good
something
voice.
you'd
Stevie
like
got
to
a
tell
good
us,
voice.
Alexis?
Well, he sings to me. Occasionally, he sings to Craig to soothe him, to calm him down before he comes in. Because, you know, Craig comes
He
very
needs it.
agitated.
He needs
That
it
is a
big
long
time.
song. That is a long
It's
song.
a lullaby. It's a never-ending song, Jan.
So many questions, so
So
little
little
time.
time. But let's get to the first question, shall we? From Paul, which team regrets their change of managers more? And rank them in order. Forest from Nuno to Ange, United from Ten Hag to
easy.
Amorim, or West Ham from Moyes to Potter?
Easy.
All right.
Moyes to Potter.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%.
Number one.
The old nonsense about, oh, we want to play a different way, and okay, we won this and we did that and we won games, but we're not happy with that. We need to fluff it up a bit. So yeah, easy peasy. They regret
I think there's going to be a
Moyes
hard
going.
competition. I think there's going to be a hard competition at Forest at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that Ange will see November.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure of that. I think that is a power battle that can be some. I mean, I saw the game against Midtjylland. I'm not 100% sure that Ange will. He's taken over a team that used to be so good at different skills. Exactly opposite of what Ange did as a manager. So
Can I just make an important point here?
competition.
Can I just make an important point
Of
here?
course.
We do realise Potter's gone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it has to be Potter, because the other two are not gone.
I mean, but
I'm just saying,
But Ange's only been in charge 6
it
games.
doesn't matter. Potter's
He's not
gone.
one. Yeah. Well,
So it can't be anybody else but West
No,
Ham
because
Moyes to
you
Potter.
could-
well, the point may be They're not regretting it anymore.
Yeah, they're not regretting it.
West Ham not regretting it anymore.
But you're holding on. The lingering regret is what kills you.
Oh, they
Shaka.
regret. You better believe they still regret it.
I don't know. I think
That's put a spanner in your works, isn't it?
well,
Potter's already gone, so it has to be him.
No.
No?
not really.
All right.
Because you could have lingering regrets.
Yeah.
What?
And that almost hurts more.
I'm not.
No
I
idea.
don't
No
have
idea what
any.
you're talking
I live
about.
my life with no
Lingering-
regrets.
lingering regrets.
I live my life with no regrets. So
Yeah.
I'm not at all qualified to answer
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Had a coffee instead of a tea this morning.
I did actually.
I have no regrets about anything.
I'll explain off camera because we don't have enough time.
What?
Next question. Start, bench, drop. Which is most likely? All three promoted teams to survive in the Premier League? Someone other than Liverpool, Arsenal wins the league? Or Man United to finish top 10? Oh, wow. That's a mouthful.
Start, bench, drop.
Drop
So start,
Manchester
bench, drop.
United to finish top 10.
You drop.
You're top 10? Oh no, yeah, I was,
Shaka.
yeah.
Drop them to do that, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, no, yeah, hold on.
They're entertaining
Start.
the ideas.
Start, all three promoted teams survive in the PL.
Okay. Wow.
Bench, City is still around, so I will bench them to say someone other than Liverpool and Arsenal can win the league. And then drop Manchester United finish top 10. Because there is no way, as they're playing now, that they will be top 10.
No, I am going to drop all three promoted teams staying in the Premier League.
Okay.
I think
Who's going down then? Who's going down then,
I don't
Shaka,
know. I
of the
don't
three? Burnley,
Oh,
you think?
Well,
Sunderland is going to go Champions League.
Oh, geez.
right? Leeds haven't gotten off the flyer. It's a long season. And I just
Is
think
it?
for all three promoted teams to stay up, that's a
not
big old ask.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
That's a big old ask.
So
Okay.
you're both dropping that idea.
So it's still early enough for Manchester United to make a change, though there's no suggestion that anybody upstairs wants to. Just fine by me, I'll be honest.
There's a bet going on here.
Yeah,
all
so
three will stay up. You give me a bet.
I will start somebody other than Liverpool and Arsenal to win the league because, as Jan points out, City are still around. I will bench Manchester United to finish top 10, and I will drop all three promoted teams staying up.
Did Jan throw out a bet there?
Oh, he
I'm
loves
ready for a bet.
bet.
I say I'm ready for a bet.
Let's put some good money on the line then. Go on.
But I
Stevie.
need a bet. I need some. I kind of 1-to-1 on all three staying up. But if you give me a good bet, Stevie, I'm willing.
No, but you're looking for odds then.
Yeah, a little good odds.
Yeah, no.
5-to-1, 5-to-1,
I'm
5-to-1.
a straight.
He's a straight
I'm just a
shooter.
straight shooter, a straight amount, and that's it.
Don't get maths involved. Don't get maths involved, Jan.
Forget that.
Yeah, no,
Hold
no
on,
maths.
hold on.
I think you've done. Hey, done.
So we're not betting.
No,
Okay.
no, I want odds. No chance.
All right.
No.
We'll move on to the next question, which happens to be for Stevie. Stevie, do you think it was a correct move by Gattuso not to call up Chiesa for Italy's upcoming World Cup qualifiers?
Do I think it was the correct move? Well, no. Listen, every coach I know would love to have a guy on the bench who, when you bring him on for the last 20 minutes, 15, whatever it is, and you think they're going to score a goal, we all want them. And right now, that's what Chiesa's doing. So it doesn't make any sense not to have him. Even if it's
I
just...
think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. It's the best thing he's ever done because Italy are in a Norwegian group. So I think it's brilliant. Stay away, stay away.
So there's the answer to the
away.
question. The fact that Jan's saying that is the answer to the question as well. Absolutely, you should have him.
All right. Next question. For Jan. Even though they called you Jan, but that was because I put a little typo in there by accident. So Jan, if Haaland ends his season with 90% of City's goals, is that good or bad?
Bad. You need to share. We saw in the show, we saw an overview I mean,
Yeah.
he got 11. The next one he got 2. I think that is Foden or maybe Reinders as well. That is not a good thing. You have to, when you saw Liverpool last season, yes, Salah scored a lot of goals, but I mean, they had him going from midfield. They had him from everywhere. Meaning also, man, 90%, Don Hutchins is not here, so I have to explain to people 90% could also be non-goal rest of the season. So if he's injured, imagine that. Who's going to step in then doing the goals? So that is very bad for Manchester City. They need more goals from different departments at that club.
All right, let's move on to the next question because best believe it's another start bench drop.
Oh boy.
Are we ready? Start bench drop. Stevie, as a coach, what's more frustrating? A shady goalkeeper, Shaka. Disorganized defenders. Disorganized defenders, or a striker who can't score?
I'm absolutely going to go with a striker who can't score.
As the most frustrating.
And I'll tell you why. I played for Doncaster Rovers, non-league. And we had a lot of old experienced guys like myself, John Sheridan. We even had Neville Southall in goal. And we used to play teams off the park. Off the park, from the back through the middle. But once we got to the front, we had nobody that could score a goal. So we would completely dominate possession, have all the ball, and come away losing 1-0.
Oh.
Because we couldn't score a goal. So for that reason, I'm going with a striker who can't score.
And then you...
But I got a quiz. I got a quiz for you, Stevie.
All right.
Which other great Scottish football player, so you are the other one, played for
thank you.
Doncaster? Doncaster.
Billy Bremner?
Well done. Well done.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Former Leeds. Former
aye.
Leeds player.
So-
I will start. I will agree with you. A striker who can't score. I will bench a Shaka goalkeeper. A shaky goalkeeper.
A shaka-strophic shaky goalkeeper.
They're done on purpose. They're done on purpose. And disorganized defenders can always stick their head in and block some shots. So, but a striker who can't score. I mean, I played in the Premier League in Swindon. We lost 5-0 to Liverpool, and we signed another striker. Then we lost 5-0 to Southampton, and we signed another striker. So John Gorman, the best and nicest man alive in football, he would have had another list than us.
Shaka, I'm apologizing on behalf
Yeah,
of
I feel abused today.
Yeah, but Shaka, how can I write that? I
Feel
can't
abused.
believe that went through the censor.
Shaka's put in a double shift in the last 24 hours, and he
Yeah,
didn't come here
okay.
for everyone to just
Everybody
bully
just pick up your Lexus.
I know, Shaka, it's okay. I got your back. Final question. What's Stevie's favorite food besides a shepherd's pie?
Chips.
Wait, don't tell us, let us guess.
Crisps.
We all have
Chips.
one guess. Shaka.
As
You're going with crisps.
yes.
Slash chips.
Yes.
Okay. Jan, do you wanna have a guess?
I will have a guess what it should have been. Scottish salmon. It's not
Okay.
as good as Norwegian salmon, but still you should have a Scottish salmon.
It's not that.
Ooh.
But you know it's not that.
like
You know it's
I'm
not
going
that.
to.
I know it's not that.
Yeah, it's not that.
I don't like salmon.
Scottish or Norwegian.
I don't like
I'm
salmon.
going to guess a potato and leek soup made by Eleanor with a little bacon bits.
Well, it is fantastic. You're not wrong there.
But
But it's a toss-up between the crisps and a proper breakfast. Sausage, bacon, eggs, beans, and a cup of tea.
but like almost
With
like a
toast.
full English style, not the American style. So you're talking
Yeah.
about the back bacon, not the streaky bacon.
Yeah, proper bacon.
Yeah.
The old Danish bacon. Yeah, you can't beat that. Sausage, bacon, eggs, beans, mug of tea, and some toast.
Oh,
Just to put your egg and your sausage in it, and then just munch it.
not a fan of the beans though.
No?
I love beans, believe
Heinz
me.
baked beans. Oh,
Oh God, not the Heinz baked beans.
fantastic.
Jesus wept.
For,
No.
for international viewers, if you're going to eat well in England, have breakfast 3 times a day.
that is the truth. That's the truth.
That's
I like a fish and chips though. I will
That's
say
it.
I do like a
the
fish and chips.
scampi and chips.
I like a fish and chips.
And I do like a chicken and mushroom pie. I think pies in England are nice.
Cornish
Fish and
pasty.
chips is
Cornish
good.
pasty.
Or a Cornish pasty.
Does that qualify as a pie?
I don't. It's like a handheld.
Did you get your scampi and chips on the quiz night?
No,
No?
I didn't. I got them in Whitby.
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 Whitby. I went to go
Yeah.
see the Whitby
Nice and
Abbey, which
cold.
inspired Bram Stoker to write Dracula, which is one of my favorite stories.
Well done, well done.
Yeah, 'tis the season for Dracula. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's time to close because we're all slowly losing it.
yeah, good.
But we will be back to make more sense tomorrow, hopefully on ESPN FC.
I'm not so
Plenty of
sure.
La Liga
I'm not so sure about that.
League action to look back on. So please join us on ESPN Plus.